When I tell you all that this heifer could sell me anything with this beautiful skin she has, absolutely. When I saw it on her, I had to purchase it myself. I sure did get her in the color GRWM Strawberry Gold because I saw this on my melanated sister and I had to get it for my melanated self. Yes, ma'am, I did. And she is everything I hoped she'd be. Stay tuned for more.
Everything every day, cut you up slowly. The point is I'm growing. I'm facing my demons this time. Ain't thinking about doing you wrong. You're doing me wrong all the time. Doing that shit every night.
Hey y'all, I am Blade and welcome back to my channel. Yes ma'am, we are back with OUTRE's Melted Hairline series. This is Miss Brienne. She is again GRWM Strawberry Gold. That's the color that I got her in because of my melanated sister here that can sell me anything. Typical construction. The two combs on the side, one in the back, the strap. This is my new lace tint mousse that I found on Amazon and I love it. This Melted Hairline series has a deluxe wide lace part that is 2x5. So it's 2 inches around from ear to ear and it's 5 inches to the back. So you get a nice deep right part. And I am blow drying her on warm. And the good thing about this mousse is if you want it darker, you can continue to add more and it will darken up as you want it to. And I always try to put some on the front of the lace too to be sure that I get it to blend well with my skin. And then just dry it on warm. If you have to, hot. If you are short on time. But it did pretty well. It did what I wanted it to do. No particular way I cut her. I just kind of cut her in a jagged motion, as you all know you're supposed to do. Especially if you're going to wear it non-glueless, you need to do that. Now I am going to install her glueless today, but if you're going to lay her down, which eventually I will, you do need to do that jagged cutting. And I always use my my combs in the front. I tuck them under my wig grip to protect my edges. Sisters, brothers, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. She is not big head friendly. I have a 22.5 inch head and she is perfect on my dome. As you all saw, I only got a little bit of shedding, just a little bit. Now y'all, I swear by this stuff. This is by Shea Moisture. It is a 2-in-1. It is a leave-in conditioner for your real hair, but it's also a detangler for your synthetic and your human hair wigs and for your own human hair. So I actually use it on my braids as a leave-in conditioner and to detangle my own hair when I wash it and braid it up. So I use it quite a bit. I swear by it. You need it in your life if you wear synthetic wigs. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that wax stick to lay it down just a little bit. As you can see, it's already laying pretty much on its own, but I did want to make sure that I let my little part show, my little C part show. And that's a nice little 5-inch C part, y'all. And I'm so happy that it's on the right because, you know, I'd be forced to wear left side parts, and now I can get back to my right side. So thank you, OUTRE, for this right-sided part. Once again, ladies, I am about making sure that we are women of a particular age with this maturing skin. This plump right back has electrolytes in it, which is very nourishing for your skin. If you don't know what electrolytes are, think Gatorade. It's vitamins and minerals that they have infused inside of this primer that is really good for your skin. Literally putting vitamins back in your skin. And if you know the motion, we're circling and we're moving out and up. We do not pull our faces down. Okay? Let's remember these things. You want to age well. Using a little bit of chestnut. I think this is called Deep Chestnut by e.l.f. that I'm using. Just to do a little bit of highlighting and concealing. Here I'm using my LA Colors color corrector. In my last video, I told you all, this is how you hide your smile lines. And this is also how you cover up any imperfections that you have. Dark spots, blemishes, acne. You use a reddish orange color if you are a brown skinned woman. You use the color corrector first, and then you can put your concealer on top, okay? Color correct, and then put a concealer on top if you want to do that. Let's start blending more with our brushes, okay? And then go back with a damp beauty blender to blend it out a little bit more and to pick up that extra product. Remember, we don't want to do too much drying of the skin. We want to keep the skin hydrated. These good oils that we have is how black don't crack. If we continue to do everything matte, you're going to mess this up now. We can moisturize. We'll just use setting powders and setting sprays to set our face and keep it matte. Speaking of keeping things matte, I'm going to use this Morphe banana powder to set my concealer. Try to get in the habit, you all, of go ahead on and setting anything that is cream based so you don't forget, and also so you don't get creasing in your makeup. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead on and set this concealer before I go to my next step, because I don't want my makeup creasing. And here I'm using my Sephora Micro Smooth, which is I think they call it a powder foundation because it kind of goes on creamy, but it sets into like a powder. And I'm using a very fluffy, short e.l.f. brush to do so. So I'm just gonna use this type of foundation to cover up my concealer and to cover up my color corrector. This is a nice way to apply foundation if you want to decrease on the messiness of liquid foundations, especially if you're a beginner. This is a good way to start. Starting off with my primer, prime my eyes before I apply mascara. I always start with my primer first. Okay, everybody, so this is me doing my imperfect eyebrows. I call them imperfect because my eyebrows are naturally shaped very oddly. My right brow has an arch and my left one does not. So trying to shape them is usually a bit of a problem. And I'm not necessarily using a eyebrow pencil. I may be using just a regular eyeliner pencil that's brown. So you have to work a little bit harder. And now I am going to my Juvia's Place Nubian Coral palette. It is one of my favorites. If you've watched my channel, you already know that. So I am taking the brown color and patting it into my outer V. And if you notice, I'm doing it sort of in a slant motion because I want to smoke it a little bit. I want to smoke it out some. So I discovered that if I can sort of just pat it in and pat it up in a slanted motion, that when it comes time for me to blend it, it makes it a whole lot easier to blend. So I am using just a basic Wet n Wild $1 brush that I got from Dollar General to blend that out. I typically try to use brushes that are small and not so fluffy because I have slanted almond shaped eyes and I don't have a whole lot of surface area to begin with. So if you have eyes shaped like mine, please be sure that you get brushes that are short and small that, you know, sort of fits the shape of your eyes. Whereas if you have more rounded eyes, you can use fluffier, bigger brushes. And of course, the key to anything with eyeshadow is just blending. You really do have to take your time and be patient. Good Lord, I can't stop dropping stuff for anything. I think I've dropped about 3 things making this video. I'm so clumsy. Anywho, blending, y'all. We have to blend this eyeshadow. Blending is the key. Just keep practicing in a windshield wiper motion. So here I'm taking just a normal flat brush and I am patting it on my lid. And because I have hooded eyes, if you notice, I am making sure that that green is going above the hood. Because if I don't put it above the hood, then you won't be able to see it. Slanted eyes, no surface area. It's a problem. So if you notice, I'm taking that same brush that I blended the brown out with, and I'm blending out the green because I want to sort of mend those colors together and ombre them. So just blend back and forth, back and forth. And here I'm just taking a different blending brush. This is a little short brush by e.l.f. because I need to go back in and put some more of that brown in there. I sort of lost it in the blending process, which usually happens. And because I already used that other brush to blend out my green, I needed to use a new clean brush to go back in and blend that brown into my creases. So that's all I'm doing here. So now you all, we are back to Juvia's Place palette. It is the Rebels palette, if I didn't say it earlier. And I'm using the darker green shimmer, not the lighter, the darker, to put inside of my tear duct area. Now I'm going to need to change brushes here and use a brush that's more like a pencil so I can really get into my tear duct and blend well. Be sure you all get you some good brushes with different sizes, especially choose brushes that are good for the shape of your eyes. If you have eyes shaped like mine, do not get big fluffy brushes. Make sure your brushes are small and thin so they can fit inside every crevice of your face. And as you all know, that before I put on mascara, I use a mascara primer. And the mascara primer I use is by Essence. And here I am using my e.l.f. Putty Blush. e.l.f. makes a lot of blushes, y'all, that are good and affordable. And if you are a person that doesn't want to necessarily use cream blushes, I think this is a great way to go, especially if you're not used to using blushes. If you could just get you some of this e.l.f. putty and get you a brush that will fit inside of it, that's small like I have, it will allow you to place the brush, Lord, place the blush exactly where you want it to be. I always start off with a patting motion, and then I sort of go around and around in circles and kind of blend it in really good. But first I pat, because I discovered that if you do that, then you don't have to worry about the blush fading when you set it later with the setting spray or as the day wears on. So you can start with one of these little e.l.f. blushes, and then you can put your regular blush on top, which I'm about to do in just a second. I'm about to use my other e.l.f. blush that I love. It's called Rosy something. I'll put it in the description, maybe. And I'm going to use my Sephora palette to highlight my nose and up under my eyebrows. Just a little shimmer, not too much. And this makeup look I actually really did wear the next day at work. I was practicing. So this NYX Butter Gloss is in the color Apple Crisp. That's Apple Crisp. And I'm setting my face with some Revolution Fix It spray. I love Revolution setting spray. It's really good. I'm going to be quiet for a second and just let you all see me bump this hair, because it was pretty straight and it needed a little bump. A little bump by B2K, just a little bit. Look, I love these asymmetric bobs, y'all. They are so perfect for the summertime. Before you curl, you all, be sure you test a little small section to make sure that your hot tool is not too hot. You don't want to burn your unit. This is a synthetic wig. I'm going to show you the hairline here because this is actually glueless. I did not want to lay it down, but I did want you to see what it looks like. And as you can see, I am very pleased. I am extremely pleased. So if I were to lay it down with some adhesive, this is what the hairline would look like, which is not too bad considering that I did not pluck it. Yeah, pretty good. I just simply cut the lace, y'all. I didn't do anything else other than cut that lace. No plucking. So it's pretty good for a melted hairline. Not too bad. Because you only have 2 inches. So you have to be careful with the plucking. Yes, baby. Hey, 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 I'm so excited. She came out just the way I expected her to. I'm loving every bit of it. Pantene Pro V is my hair. So I wanted to give you all photos before I did the bump of this Yaki textured wig. It's about 14 to 16 inches. I am 5'4". This is what it looks like on me. And it's a beautiful Yaki asymmetric bob. It is beautiful. I am very satisfied. I wanted to show you a picture before I added the lace tint mousse to this part because I could see the wig grid clearly. And this is a after picture. As you can see, it covered it up beautifully. I did not add any more makeup, concealer, anything to that part, but I did add a little bit more tint mousse to the part in the back, and it came out beautifully. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Be sure you come back. Bye.